So 2 months have passed since Apple unveiled their giant and gianter iPhones. I've used the iPhone 6 for a while and the 6 Plus. We'll do a separate video with the 6. We're going to focus just on the 6 Plus. So the things that I talked about in the initial review I think are still valid. Some gripes I think I still have as well. First, the freaking bezels on this thing are ginormous. I get the bottom bezel because it's got to have that Touch ID home button. I can accept that. But the top bezel is absolutely huge. This is almost the same size as a 6-inch phone like you've got with the Nexus 6 and larger phones like you've got with the Galaxy Note 4. It just seems crazy that the phone is this big. It's still a gripe, it's still a problem. I did an earlier video saying I was going to use a case on it because it just seems a little bit slippery on the back. I couldn't quite stick with that. I ended up ditching the case about a week and a half later. I like my phones naked. I like to feel the metal. I know it sounds creepy, but I would like to have no cases on my phone. I haven't quite dropped it yet, fortunately, and I'm not in the drop test kind of guy, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that. But durability does seem to be fine. Just having it in and out of my pocket, I've got a few sort of nicks on it. My son likes to grab the phone and kind of drop it on the carpet, so you know, it's got a few scuffs and scratches, but overall I think it's held up really nice. And absolutely no bending issues without a case. Let me just reiterate that. No bending issues. That seems to have died off. Don't worry about it. If you want to know if your phone is bent, you can't tell, it's super easy. Put it on a table, have it extend out past the camera hump so you can put it down and you can see if it's bent and you're fine. Speaking of camera hump, I still find that super annoying. Super annoying. I can kind of accept it on the iPhone 6 Plus because it's got OIS and the lens has got to go in and out, but on the 6 doesn't have that. What the heck? So I still find that very annoying. But I do really like the camera. The camera is really, really, really good on this phone. I wish it had a little higher megapixels so I could zoom in a little bit more, but it's not doing much zooming. The camera's been awesome. In low light, it's been great. It's got a really quick shutter. I got a fast-moving kit, so be able to snap a couple pictures at once. It's been awesome. I like taking the slow-mo videos. I've sort of done a few of those, although usually it's like Lucy licking peanut butter, which is creepy, or Lucy running. It's mostly just videos of Lucy. But I like having it. It's been really nice. I don't miss having 4K video on a phone. I think it's a nice feature to have, maybe, but it takes up so much storage space. You know, but if you're the kind of person that wants 4K video, that's probably something to consider if you're looking to get an iPhone. Battery life is still ridiculously awesome on the 6 Plus. It's actually gotten better over the weeks that I've used it. With most phones, with my normal usage, I generally get around 40% at the end of the day. This phone I generally have about 60 to 70% battery life left, which is absolutely awesome. My wife has also the 6 Plus. She very rarely uses her phone, checking Pinterest and Facebook. By the time she plugs her phone at the end of the day, it's at 75%, which is absolutely awesome. Obviously, usage is going to totally vary, but I keep my screen brightness around 75%. I got tweet emails being checked, phone calls, YouTube videos, and all the rest of that. Battery life is super good. So for that, my phone is going to last you quite a while. We're not talking like Droid Turbo battery, but really, really good. I wish the iPhone 6 did the 6 Plus battery life, because that would probably be the perfect size phone. I got a ton more iPhone stuff to talk about, but real quick, I want to thank our friends at Citrix. With GoToAssist and remote support, you can provide live and unintended remote support to any computer or mobile device, no matter where you are. GoToAssist is easy to use and sets up in less than a minute, whether you're supporting 1 coworker, 10 employees, or even 8,000, in which case, good for you. You're a straight up baller. Sign up today for a 30-day free trial, no contract, no credit card needed. Visit GoToAssist.com and click the Try It Free button right now. Again, that's GoToAssist.com and click the Try It Free button. So here's kind of a fun fact with the iPhone you might not know. If you go to the Apple Store, not the carrier, you pay full price for either a T-Mobile phone, an AT&T phone, or Verizon phone. You're going to get the A1522 model. If you look at the back of the phone, you can see the model number. That is the exact same phone for all 3 carriers. It's the same phone AT&T sells, same phone T-Mobile sells, and same phone Verizon sells. They just lock it down for them. So if you buy an unlocked phone, you can easily go between carriers. And that includes Verizon with their CDMA bands. CDMA bands are in the device. They get locked down or locked out when you have it sort of with another carrier. But if you get an unlocked device, you can easily use it. I've used this with AT&T, used this with T-Mobile, and used it with Verizon, which I'm using currently with no issue at all. Everything works. Visual voicemail works. Voice over LTE works. Absolutely everything. So if you want a device that can have interportability, it's a great choice. The Nexus 6 also does that same thing, by the way, in case you're wondering. If you're with Sprint, their networks are a little bit different, so you got to get a totally different Sprint phone. But those 3 carriers, just go ahead and switch phones. It's been really, really nice to be able to do that. So when I last filmed the review, Apple Pay wasn't out yet. Apple Pay is now out, and it works exactly as expected. I mean, it's a neat feature. Whenever it's available, I'll use it if I have my iPhone with me, but nothing that's really changing the way I shop. Maybe in a year it'll be different, but it works well, and it's kind of cool. I wish it had more use for NFC bands, though. That would be really nice. Speaking of NFC bands, I still don't like the way this phone works. I still think Johnny Ive and company kind of phoned in the design of the phone, but kind of it is what it is. I wish those bands weren't there, or maybe a little less prominent. I think the Space Gray model hides it best, and I still sort of think that as I did from day one. So when Apple unveiled bigger phones, they were sort of facing the same problem that Android's been facing for a while, app fragmentation. Apps still aren't getting updated yet. In fact, WhatsApp just got updated this week to support the bigger screen size. So some people don't dig that. I don't have the best eyes, so I like that things look just giant and huge, but I can see how it might be annoying. I've been surprised actually how slow the app support has been. for the 6 and 6 Plus, but it's getting there and getting there slowly. The new processor and everything seems fine. It runs fast like every iPhone has. I've had no issues with lag. I've had no issues running any of the latest games. Everything just works the way it should. Still a bit disappointed though with iOS. I wish it did more. And so the iOS 8.0.1 debacle really made me dubious to install any updates that come through from Apple. I still have weird issues on the software side. If I try and rotate, it won't always rotate, or the keyboard will be in the wrong orientation. If I try and search using Spotlight to search apps, even though it's selected in settings, sometimes apps won't show up. There still are a lot of bugs, and more bugs than I've ever had with previous iterations of iOS. So quality control for Apple, man. Step it up. I am finding myself using the widgets notification center quite a bit. I like to check the weather in the morning. Sports scores is kind of really nice to have, and stocks in there has been a really kind of a cool addition. I didn't think I was going to use it at all. In fact, I kind of was like very blah when they first announced it, but I found it to be kind of useful. I still like that Apple's got the profile switch on the side. That's been really nice. But overall, my opinions on the phone haven't changed that much since the initial review we did, which is why we spend a lot of time with phones before we do the review. We really like to get to know them. The screen's great. I don't really notice much of a difference between this and even some of the QHD screens out there. They all look good to me. But it's still one of the better screens available. If you're looking for high resolution, then you definitely want to look elsewhere than the iPhone 6 or 6 Plus. But overall, it's been a nice experience. It's Apple through and through. If you like the ecosystem, you like to share pictures, with iCloud, you like to share your documents with iCloud, you need to use iTunes Match, live inside of Apple's ecosystem. It's a great choice, and it's still the best iPhone ever made. But I still maintain it's a good phone, but it's one of many good phones out there. There are so many great Android options out there now. There's so many great, even BlackBerry options out there, Windows Phone options out there. iPhone used to be head and shoulders above the rest. That was probably 4 years ago. Now, it's kind of just one of the many faces in the crowd.
Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy. We are people just like you who love technology. If you want to keep up on the latest in the world of consumer electronics, hit the big subscription button right down below. If you want to see us play games, although admittedly sometimes very poorly, check out our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/technobuffalo.